Hello everybody, my name is Takanomiyashi, and I am the founder and main developer for Takaneko Gaming. The following you are about to see is some of the old, maybe not so much pre-alpha, but at least alpha footage that I had recorded a while back while I was building the third level, quote unquote, the third level of the Prodigy Incident Tape 1, and that was the soundstage. The game was always meant to have at least two zones. If I was going to start the game in the studio, it was going to end in the soundstage, and the soundstage was going to be where it all culminated into like the finale of the story. So I figured I would use this time to just maybe like use the context of seeing a video of the studio being built and talk about what the process was as far as maybe like the overall Project G incident development. All right, so I guess where to begin. So one of the early things that I had in mind, as far as like what was drilled into my head when I started developing the game, working with UE5, was I thought that I have to make everything from scratch. There's a really big debate about there's a really big debate around the internet about the use of assets in order to make your games. And is a game an asset flip? Did you just cobble together a whole bunch of things that you bought in the store and then build a game around that? And I still kind of struggle with it a little bit to this day. Just figuring, would the game be better? Not so much better, but would it carry a little bit more weight if it was known that all of the assets in the game were made from scratch? And at the time when I started at the very beginning, I figured I have to make everything from scratch. Benches, chairs, toilets have to be made from scratch. And as a matter of fact, when I finally decided what I would do to start working inside of the studio level, I divided everything into rooms, and I figured let me start with the smallest room possible, and that was going to be the bathroom. So the first thing that I modeled from scratch using shapes and then booleans in order to like cut out other, like, to shape those shapes into something cohesive, was a toilet. And so you can just imagine, let me see, maybe there was like an egg oval, like a big sphere that was shaped into an oval, and then I made a copy of that oval, shrunk it down, that would be like the inside, and I lifted it up so that it would make, like, you have the egg shape, then you have the smaller egg popping out, so it'd make a dome, and that dome would also be like an inner bowl shape inside of the egg. Then you boolean it, and then it cuts out like the second egg disappears, and then you have a bowl left, and there you go. There's the toilet bowl. There you go, your first shape thing that you put together. After that, you come up with like maybe a cylinder that goes underneath, and then another cylinder that, like, maybe a cone that comes out of that cylinder. There you have a little bit of the base. Then the base has to have like a flatter section, so take another cylinder, make it flat, wine it, oval it. It just, everything was just made like just one shape at a time, and I had to use my imagination to figure what can I boolean, what can I use to boolean a out of like a sphere, a rectangle, cones, square, cubes. What can I use to boolean out a shape of a toilet? And so that was one of the first things that I completed. Along with the toilet, I made the pipes that go up from the toilet and into the wall, and there was also a handle. You can imagine all of the little, if you unfortunately you don't get a good look at a toilet inside of the game, but if you were to get like a really good look at a toilet, you'd see all of those individual pieces are individual pieces that I shaped and put together using the basic meshes that were inside of UE5. And I figured this is just the way it has to be done. if you go to the break room, all of the chairs and tables are made original, and I did not swap them out when I finally started using assets. I may not have a good reason why. Maybe the break room would have looked a little more aesthetically pleasing if I had gone back and been like, okay, now that I'm using some free assets, can I replace all of the tables and all of the chairs that are in the break room, and so that everything looks better. For some reason, I just decided to leave it be. All of the chairs are basically rectangles and cubes, all shaped into the shape of a chair. They have a padding, quote padding, on the bottom, and I think I put padding on the back. I don't know. For some reason that was what came to mind aesthetically, like when I was putting it together. I think there's a refrigerator that I think you might still be able to see in the break room, also made from scratch. I just kind of had a picture reference and I made it from scratch. There are some cups there that what I did was I made one cup and then I remember making a whole bunch of copies of it, and then I looked up how to use a physics engine, and I lifted a whole bunch of cups into the air, used the physics engine, had them drop down onto the counter, and I froze them all in place, and there you go. That's how I set down the cups, as opposed to taking one cup, putting on its side. Okay, make sure that the little like the handle of the cup is leaned down and on the onto the countertop, and then another cup down, twist, another cup down, twist, another cup down, upside down, and twist, or something, to vary it up. So I had looked up a guide, and I figured there's got to be an easy way to do this. uh, and then eventually though, I started using real assets. I don't remember the what my change in attitude was, as far as like, okay, what video did I listen to that told me using assets is okay? No one's going to like blame you for it. No one's going to come after you for the fact that hey, this game was made with assets. You suck. And for lack of a better term, okay, yeah, I do suck. There are some things that are actually still original, but there is a lot that I could not have made by myself. And this being a solo project, I could not have hired anybody to make it for me. It still comes down to a matter of, okay, I need you to make a table. Well, tables have a universal design across all media, and the only thing that could change about them is if there's something stylistic about it. And in this game, there's nothing stylistic about a table. There's nothing stylistic about the chairs. If anything, what it came down to was like, if it looks low res, good, because there's going to be a pixel filter. This is supposed to be a retro game, so maybe the chairs and tables are supposed to look bad. But if I can still give the game a little bit of flavor and authenticity by adding in tables, chairs, spotlights, and cameras, and staircases. I don't know. I think the staircases that you're seeing in the video were actually, I made those because I didn't want to. I didn't want to like wait, did I make it? Yeah, well, there was nothing in terms of assets. There was nothing that was an actual staircase for me to put specific to the soundstage level that was there. You'll see in the video that there were some light assets that came from the studio props asset bundle in UE5, and I eventually opted out of using those, and I used my own created floodlights that I made for the game. And so by the end of it all, this was going to be the area that you walked around in. It was supposed to be where Goji would eventually show up, where you would be shooting the final scene of the well, not a final scene. You'd be shooting a scene of of the Gojira movie, and it was supposed to be like a really enclosed space. And while there were a lot of things that I'd hoped I could do in this area, it came down to just being one big, what do you call it, a set piece for the final moments of the story to happen. And by no means is there supposed to be anything that's like taken away from that, because you worked hard to get here. Now you finally get to see what is going to happen now that Goji is here, now that the director is here, and the director's been elusive the entire time. Co-director has something that he wants to talk to you about. Everyone is kind of on edge, and hopefully the player is as well. And in the end, a lot of what went into finishing the Project G incident and putting the levels together, it still is all based on like me putting it all together. What I really wanted and what I really needed to get out of using assets was to fill in the environment with something that made it feel a little bit more like a little bit more lived in, like this was a studio that was working with what it could get. There were things that were already put away from past shoots, and this was maybe one of the last few things that they had to get done. And as you know, tragedy strikes, and things just they have to roll with the punches and deal with whatever the outcomes of all the events are. In the end, I don't think that transitioning from using self-made assets to already pre-produced assets has derailed or taken away from the value that the from the wow is the value from the like the core experience of the game. If anything, it's made it better, and you can still walk around and see all of the original stuff that was made before I kind of like I guess bit the bullet, as it were, and decided, okay, I may get some pushback because not everything in the game is original, and all of this, these are all assets that someone else made. Well, if anything, kudos to the people who made those assets, because they're great and they're awesome, and they helped me to put the game together, and they've helped me to put together a project and finish a project without having to take too long to get it finished in the first place. And it's something that I can bring to all of you, and you can all experience, and it can finally move Takaneko Gaming forward onto our next project. And the next project will inevitably maybe have some more free assets in it, maybe a little bit of stylization. But if I can get the help of another person who has taken the time to make some cool stuff, and they say, hey, you can take these assets as long as you credit me and let everybody know of my work, you can use it in your game. And I'm happy to do that, more than happy to do that, in order to get things moving along. I realized that most of this was just about my the philosophy, the philosophy of the use of assets in the Project G incident. But if anything, that's a really important thing that went into the game, the production of the game itself. If I had chosen to make original assets for everything, the game would have just taken longer and longer to do. Um, Using some of these pre-built assets that were already in UE5, and then reaching out to some great some great I don't know, designers, asset creators through the UE5 store and everything. It really helped to push the project forward. And with me being a person who is unfortunately prone to getting distracted very easily, in case in case I've never mentioned it, this big procrastinator here. The game could have been done maybe 6 months earlier if there wasn't a 6 months worth of procrastinating that happened in between. So that's definitely on me, and it's hopefully something that I can definitely improve upon when moving on to the next project. That's going to wrap it up for this discussion. I'll be able to talk about more parts of the game and more things that happen in as far as the development goes in another video, another behind the scenes look at the Project G Incident Tape 1. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you to everyone who is watching these videos and looking forward to the release of the Project G Incident Tape 1. My name is Takano Miyashi, and remember, my heart goes out to all of you. Take care.